Hey guys, Broxy here. Today we're in Tokoroa. There's no shortage of red bikes on the farms here in the mighty Waikato, and today we're looking at a very special one. This is the 2025 CRF250R. As you can see, we've got new styling and it's a modern look, but from the angle of the shrouds, I feel like you get a real throwback to the golden era of the David Bailey, Rick Johnson motorcycles. And I feel like now we're in the new golden era with the Lawrence brothers and Tim Geiser. They've all come together and worked with this machine and developed it into what I feel like is going to be a class-leading machine. The Lawrence brothers have had a big part in the design of this bodywork. They wanted a larger contact patch through the middle here for your knees and an even flare on the number boards where it's not so much bigger on the muffler side as on the other side. But the big story here, and again, thanks to those top riders like Geiser and the Lawrence brothers, is in the chassis. They wanted more rigidity to help the suspension work better. To complement the changes on the chassis, they've also gone bigger up front. Stiffer triple clamps, stiffer steering stem, thicker outer fork tubes, and a larger diameter front axle. And on the rear, the linkage has been changed to a one-piece structure to optimize rigidity. And then on the shock, you've got a new shock spring, reservoir, shaft, and oil seal. Honda's goal is to provide a bike that is less sensitive to changes in track conditions. Provide a machine that's going to stay the same even when it gets rougher at the end of the day, or if you go to a different track next weekend. As for the motor, they've gone and beefed up that crankshaft to help with mid-range torque. They've also revised the header pipe and muffler. There's new ECU settings to help smooth the power out. And all the talk I'm hearing about this 250 is the redesign of the airbox, helping the bike to breathe better and helping with that top-end pull. From the cockpit, a new mapping switch shares the same selectable torque control as the 450R. From there you go through your rental bars and your front brake. And speaking of the front brake, it's also got a revised piston and seal grooves to help provide consistent performance throughout the whole moto. And my favorite thing up here, the start button. Let's ride. What I really wanted to find out was, would this bike ride consistently over a changing track? What I can tell you now is you can believe the hype. Out of the box, this is the best handling CRF250 that I've ever ridden. I was going down these bumpy straights and I wasn't having to fight the bike, I wasn't having to hang on. And the thought popped into my mind, I could actually ride this almost with one hand off the handlebars a lot of the time. Now I wouldn't recommend that, but the way that the bike was balanced, the front wheel would hit a bump, and then the back wheel would hit the same one, and then you almost forgot that you'd hit it. I could even hit them while I was leaned over. That's exceptional, and I put that down to that balance that they've been able to create using the stiffness of the chassis and the suspension settings. So far as the rear especially, the back of the bike feels like it's not jacking up. The bike settles really well, and I think a big part of that is thanks to what they did with that subframe. And then there was the really fun part. When I'm in the middle of a turn, I actually had the ability to make small adjustments to turn tighter suddenly whenever I felt like it. What that did was it gave me confidence to come into the corner a little bit faster, to lean a little bit more. And then so far as the actual way that you can grip the bike with your legs when you're out there riding, I found this contact patch just gold. That was invaluable in helping me to feel confident in gripping the bike. And as for those jumps, I think that most people are going to find it ultra forgiving. And even the odd time when I did bottom it out on one of those massive hits, it didn't scare me at all. Diving a little bit deeper into the power of this 250, I found that that torque that they've been looking for in the low and mid-range of the power was really what I needed to be able to run third gear a lot of the time. And the added bonus of that was that I could continue to run third gear down most of these straights because of that top end power. I also tried the torque control. Out there on these kind of bumps, those spikes in revs that you get from when you hit an acceleration bump, I felt like the torque control helped smooth that out, even on the 250. One of the traits that you want in a 250 is to be good at gear changes. Between second and third is a particularly important shift, and then third and fourth as well, and I really felt like the shifting was flawless. I also had a play with the launch control. I tried the first setting, and I found that it would still wheelie off the gate if you wanted it to. Second setting I actually really liked here at Tokoroa because it's got some big ups and downs, and I felt like it cut in when I needed it, but then even before I needed third gear, it was already disengaged and giving me all the power that I wanted. I also tried it on setting number 3, and I feel like that would be a setting that you'd want to use on really slippery ground or concrete. So, thumbs up so far for the 2025 CRF250R. If you're looking for more information on this awesome motorcycle, head to hondamotorbikes.co.nz or check it out at your local Honda dealer.